Okay, tonight we start a new Masechta Shabbos, Daf Beis. It's being done Le'ilu Nishmas Kloinemus Kalman Ben Chaim Tzvi Teichman, the father of one of our participants, Chaim Teichman. His neshama should have an aliyah. Yitzias Shabbos Shtayim Shehein Arba. So Yitzias refers to, says Rashi, Hotzos Shemer Rishus L'Rishus. There are two, we're going to learn, there are four Rishuyos. There's Rishus HaYachid, a private domain, a Rishus HaRabim. We're going to have to define all those things. Eventually we will define all those. There's a Karmelis. A Karmelis is a rabbinically defined Rishus. We will define what that is. And then there's a Mokum P'tur, a free space. Those are the four Rishuyos in Shabbos. The basic rule is you cannot take something from Rishus HaYachid and put it into Rishus HaRabim. Every act of Hotzah, there has to be an Akira, you have to pick it up from where it is, and there has to be a Hanocha in the new Rishus. And to be Chayiv Midoraisa, this one person has to do both acts. The Akira from the Rishus HaYachid, and the Hanocha in the Rishus HaRabim. So we're going to see, for example, if two people are involved, and you only do half the Malacha, you're not Chayiv. Now, it's not permitted to do it. We'll see, Mikra than you are. It is permitted, but the Chacham made a Gzeira, it's Potter of a Losser. Okay? If, for example, you only do half of that Malacha. Now, Hotzah, technically, is Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. Hachnasa is what it means, to bring something in. That means to bring something from Rishus HaRabim into the Rishus HaYachid. But the Torah talked about Vayaviru Kol B'machane Leimor. Its malacha was Hotzah. So the Iker Din that was written in the Torah is going from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim. Keep that in mind, because that's going to be important. And Rashi says, Mefort Achnashas Nami Kari Yitzias, Hol Umotzim Rishus L'Rishus. So now, we're going to also learn that there's also a prohibition to take something, Dalad Amnis Rishus HaRabim. But there has to be an Akira and a Hanocha. You lift it, that's the Akira. You transfer Dalad Amis and you put it down in Rishus HaRabim, you'd also be Chayiv. So it's not just from Rishus to Rishus, it's Dalad Amis Rishus HaRabim. So, Yitzias HaShabbos, Shtayin Shehein Arba Bifnim, Ushtayin Shehein Arba Bachutz. For the person who's inside, we're going to see there are two ways in the Torah that he could be Asr. But then there are going to be two ways that there's a rabbinic Isser because it involves both him and the person outside. But there could be two ways that the person inside could be chayiv completely by himself. We'll see what that is. And the same thing, the person outside, there are two ways that he could be chayiv by himself, and then there are two other ways rabbinically, says Rashi. Shtayim shenarba b'fnim, la'oisen ha'oim d'difnim, shtayim in ha'toiro yitzovach na'asod d'balabayis. U'perek hazorik b'reisha nafkalon mi vayitzav Moshe v'yaviru kol b'machaneh, lo tafikum rishus ha'yachid l'rishus ha'rabim, lahavin l'nedava l'machna l'viyah. V'yom ha'Shabbos hayah. So Moshe warned them, don't bring something from your house, from your tent, into the machna l'viyah, which is rishus ha'yachid, rishus ha'rabim. It was Shabbos. So the Torah prohibited Hotzah, defined it that way. Now, throughout Shabbos, we're going to learn the concept that if you do something b'shogeg, you're going to be chayv achatis. Because if you do it b'mezid with hasra, you would get skila. But you need an edim and hasra. So, what's shogeg? We're going to learn. Shogeg could be either, I don't know, it's Shabbos today, I thought it's Tuesday, or I didn't know that this malacha was one of the 39 malachas. I thought it was permitted to do that. So that makes you a shogeg.
Or if you have something in your pocket and you didn't realize.
That's something else.
Okay.
That's you're either going to be a mesasek or you're an onus. Okay. So specifically, shogeg is only I forgot that it's Shabbos today, or I don't know that this malacha is also. If you forgot something, so it's even less than a shogeg. You wouldn't even have to bring a korban chatas for that. As Rashi says, al shegazu chatas, was done kores. That means if you do it b'meisid, you get kores. And then, if you had hasra with edim skila, v'chein b'chom lecha Shabbos. This is every malacha. Zoreya, bishul, everything. This is. It so happens that the first malacha that we're going to tackle in Masechta Shabbos is hotzah v'achnosa. What's this shehein arba business? Midivreim. So we said there's already two ways that the balabais on the inside can be chayiv midoraisa, and there are two ways that the oni on the outside mibachutz can be chayiv. Two ways. We'll see what those two ways are. And midivreim osifu shtayim lesser lechatchila. The Chachamim said that there are two other things you may not do, but v'im also potter. But if you did them, you don't bring a chatas. Ushtayim shem dal bachutz, says Rashi. Shtayim in Torah itzov achnosa, the oni ha'oimid bachutz, and also shtayim midivreim. There's going to be two rabbinic prohibitions. Kisham locha nasis al yedei shnayim. For example, ze oiker v'ze meniach. We said that if you do the akira and the hanacha completely, you did a complete malacha, you're going to be chayiv the whole thing. But if you did the akira and the other guy did the hanacha, or vice versa, so you shared it, so there's not going to be a chayiv midoraisa. Him also potter. Back to the Mishnah. The Mishnah is going to give us the examples. Pashad ha'ani es yadu lifnim. The ani is holding on to something outside. And but he has something in his hand that he picked. No, he's outside because the ani is always outside. The balabais is inside. So the ani stuck his hand. He's standing outside. Mm-hmm. He was holding on to something, or he picked something up.
Who's the oni?
The ani is outside, and he put his hand inside. The balabais. The balabais is on the inside, right. and he puts it on the hand of the balabais. That's step one. That's malacha one. O shenotal mitocha v'hotzia ani. Or for example, there is something in the hand of the balabais. The ani reaches in and picks it up, and brings it outside to where he is. Chayiv. In both of those cases, he's chayiv.
But the
balabais didn't do anything; just stood there. Look at Rashi. And he has something in his hand. The Oni himself did the Akira from the Rishus outside, and he made the Akira in Rishus HaYachid, on the Hanach on Rishus HaYachid. He grabbed the chayfetz from the balabais who's on the inside, his hand, v'niach b'rishus harabim, and he put it down in b'rishus harabim. The over the akira b'rishus hayachid v'anocha b'rishus harabim. Ha'ani chayiv she'asam lacha shleima v'arishtayim in atorah lama b'chutz. So the Mishnah just described the guy standing outside. He's chayiv two ways. He could either put something inside, or he could bring something outside, and he did it all himself. Now we're going to describe, because we said shtayim shein arba b'chutz and shtayim shein arba b'fnim. We just described the shtayim shein arba b'chutz. The shtayim that b'chutz, he's chayiv for the hoitzah and the aktosa. Now we're going to describe the shtayim shein arba b'fnim. What is that? Poshat balabais is yoda l'chutz. The balabais has a chayfetz in his hand, and he's in the rishus hayachid, and so he does the akira. The nosan soch yoda shul ani. The ani is on the outside. The ani has his hand on the outside, and he deposits it into the hand of the outside. The ani is standing outside, so he did an akira b'rishus harabim and b'rishus hayachid and anoch and b'rishus harabim. Oh, shenotal misocha. Or the ani is standing with a book in his hand. The balabais is on the inside, and the ani is on the outside. And the balabais reaches out, and the guy is standing with b'rishus harabim. And he grabs the book and brings it inside. V'ichdis balabais chayiv ani potter. Potter legamri. Okay, excuse me. That was the previous case where we said that the balabais is potter afilu chatchila mutter, because he didn't do anything. He just stood there. But we described the shtayim in Torah by the balabais. We're the Pturim case. Pashat ani es yoda lifnim. The Oni has a book in his hand. He sticks his hand on the inside. But he doesn't deposit it into the hand of the Balabayas. The Balabayas takes it from him. So he was not Meiniachit. He did, the Balabayas, the Oni did the Akira, but the Balabayas did the Hanacha. Right? Pasha Ani Yisrael if never not the Balabayas mitocha. O, Shenosan Lesocha. Behotzi. The Ovid le Balabayas Akira, Vahotzi Oniva, that means the Balabayas lifts it and the Oni pulls it out. Shneim Pturim. Because neither of them did a complete malacha. Poshet Balabayas is Yadu L'chutz. The Balabayas sticks his hand outside. And he's got a book in it. V'not lo Oni misocha, and the Oni takes it from him. O shenosan l'socha, v'hichnis, or he brings it in inside and the Balabayas took it. Again, Shneim Ptur. That's the Shtein Shein Arba. There's two things midoraisa and two things midrabanan in both cases. That's what the Mishnah tells us. It's not awesome.
But okay.
It's not awesome. The Gemara is not going to start off by pointing out to us that there are other places in Shas where the Masechtas or the Mishnah also uses the same structure. Shtayim shehein arba. So, for example, Tnan Hasam, we learn in Masechta Shavuos, Shavuos shtayim shehein arba. There are two types of Shavuos, midoraisa, and then there are going to be two others that also will see midoraisa. Rashi, Shavuos shtayim. We're talking about Shavuos shel bitoy, lahara o lahetiv. For example, a Shavua, I'm going to eat something. Or a Shavua that I'm not going to eat something. Now, by a Shavua's bitui, if I take a Shavua, as I'm going to eat this loaf of bread today, and I didn't eat it, so there, I don't bring a korban chatas. I bring something that's called an oila v'yored. And we're going to get used to this. An oila v'yored is a sliding scale korban. So if I'm poor, I bring a mincha. And if I'm more wealthy, I bring two birds. And if I'm more wealthy, I bring an animal. So that's a slowing, based on imdalhu, ve'in yodo maseges, based on my economic status, I can bring whatever korban is designated for me in that parsha. Shehein arba, yeshach l'rabos od shtayim ribu akosov, l'chol she'yivati adam l'rabos, l'sha'over achalti, v'loy achal, or loy achalti v'achal. So the standard shvuas bitui is for the future. I will eat a loaf of bread in the next 12 hours. I take a shvua. Or I take a shvua, I will not eat a loaf of bread in the next 12 hours. That's the ikr din that the Torah talks about. But there are another two. I take a shvua that I did not eat a loaf of bread in the last 24 hours. Or I take a shvua that I did eat a loaf of bread in the last 24 hours. Those are also shvuas bitui. That have, now, it's not the same like in our Mishnah, with Shtein Shein Arba, two of them were deraisa, two of them were drabonim. No, here all four of them are the same. But the Gemara is pointing out to us that the structural statement of Shtein Shein Arba is the same. So it says, Thanos, Shtein Shein Arba. Then it says, Yediyas Satuma Shtein Shein Arba. This is another Aveira where you bring a korban oil of a yored. This is a din where I forgot, I was Tomei. I went to a funeral. I was in the room with a mace. And then I forgot that I was Tomei. And I walked into the base of Mikdash. Or I knew that I was Tomei, but I didn't know that this was the base of Mikdash. In both of those cases, you have to bring a korban oil of a yored. Same thing. If I'm poor, a mincha. Less poor, two birds. Wealthy, animal. So, Yediyas Satum Shtein Shein Arba. Sheina Kotz V'daber El B'tumas Migdash U'Kedosha. There we're talking about specifically Tuma, where you forget that you're Tomei and you walk to the base of Mikdash. Shalachar shenitma achol kodesh, or for example, I was tamei, I forgot that I was tamei, and I ate hegdish meat. Or I knew that I was tamei, but I forgot that the meat was hegdish. O nichtas lemigdash. V'alvina chosam. We learned over there, she'ena mischayev ele b'yadiyah tchila b'yadiyah b'sof v'helam ben tayim. When you can be chayev this korban olav yored, you knew that you were tamei, you forgot, and then somebody told you, oh, you know what? You had walked into the base of Mikdash. You forget, and then somebody tells you about it later on. He knew that he was tamei. V'nela mimen, he forgot about it. Tuma. V'ochal kodesh, and he ate meat of a shlamim. U'mishe'ochal, after he eats yodesh she'ochlu betuma, somebody tells him, or he all of a sudden remembers that he was tamei. Shtayim, there are two examples. Mimashmos hakosuv. V'nela mimenu, because the pasuk says v'nela mimenu v'hu tamei, mashma. Shenela mimenu tuma, aval zachu she'achal kodesh. That's the example where he forgot that he was tamei, but he knows that he was eating b'sar kodesh. This is at Mikdash, or this was the base of Mikdash. Harei shtayim elam tuma lagabi kodesh, v'helam tuma lagabi Mikdash. So you have examples where you didn't know that it was b'sar kodesh, or you didn't know that it was Mikdash. Shehein arba. Yesh l'chal Rabbi, says Rashi, od shtayim miribu v'nelam beis pamim. The Rabbos es hazocher l'tuma aval nela mimon kodesh. For example, I know that I'm tamei, but I forgot. I didn't know that this is hegdish meat. Because for shechulin, I thought it was chulin meat. Oh nela mimeno, I thought this was lasyanagad, not the beis hamikdash. Okay, so the same structure. Shvuas shtein shein arba, yediyas hatuma shtein shein arba, and then finally marus nagayim shnaim shein daled. There are types of nega, tzaras. One is a sapachas, one's white, one's black. We're going to a baheres. So that we're going to leave for when we learn it. And then in that same Mishnah over there, because it lists all of these, then it says, Yitzias HaShabbos Shtein Shein Arba. Because in that Mishnah, it mentions all the examples of the Shtein Shein Arba dinim, right? Shvua, Negoim, Shvuas. And then it says, Yitzias HaShabbos Shtein Shein Arba. Now, Maishna Hacha Detoni Bei Shein Daled Bifnim, Ubei Shein Arba B'chutz. Now, our Mishnah just didn't say Shtein Shein Arba. It was much more detailed. It said 2 that are for Bachutz and 2 that are for Bifnim. Why didn't the Mishnah over there say the same language? U'maishna Hasam Detoni Shtein Shein Arba V'sulo. That's the question of the Gemara. Our answer is, Hacha de Iker Shabbos hu. Since this is Masechta Shabbos, Tani Avois, V'tani Toldos. So again, let's just step back for a minute. There is going to be a concept in Masechta Shabbos of Avos and Toldos. So we're going to have 39 malachos that are going to be listed. We're going to learn that in Perek Shvik in Klal Gadol. Under each one of those malachas are other malachas that are similar to it. Like toldos is like children. There's an av and a tolda. Now, usually there's no nafkamina in din between an av and a tolda. That means just like when an av you'd get skila, by a tolda you'd also get skila. So we'll have to see what are the nafkaminas when you call something an av and a tolda. But it seems like the Gemara now telling us is that in our Mishnah, we talked about hotzah, taking something out from Rosh Hashanah into Rosh Hashanah, and we talked about hachnasa, bringing something in from the Rosh Hashanah into Rosh Hashanah. One of these is the av, and one of these is the tolda. Which one is which? I gave a hint a little bit, because the pasuk there, Moshe told people, don't bring stuff from your tent to the Machna Leviyah. So that's from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. So hotzah is the av, and hachnasa is the tolda. Let's see Rashi. Tani ovis v'toldos. Yitzios v'hachnasas. Yitzios means taking something out. Hachnasas means to bring something in. Shayitzios ovis heim. The taking something out is the av. Because d'mivaviru kol b'machaneh. Lo mashma elohitzos. Elemisvora aminan. Now, mina Torah, it seems like that's the av. But misvara logic, nichte mershus l'rshus kopid kra. Mali afuki, mali iyuli. Really, the Torah doesn't want us to change reshuyos. It doesn't want us to take something from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, but likewise, it doesn't want us to take something from Rishus HaRabim to Rishus HaYachid. Yet, one is called an Av and one is called a Tolda. So here in Masechta Shabbos, they deal with the Av and they deal with the Tolda. Hossam, the Lavikar Shabbos, who? So over there by the Mishnah Shavuos, which listed all of these examples, Avos Tni, Toldos Lo Tni. It only talked about Haitzah. It didn't talk about Hachnasa. That's what the Gemara is trying to say right now.
It doesn't make any sense, because if that's the case, then why would they not enumerate more detailed about the Shavuos? Over there, Masechet Shavuos, why would they not enumerate going to more details about Shavuos?
Well, over there we'll see it's simpler. It's Stein Shein Arba, period. There isn't this bachutz and befnim. It's not operative. Now you'll see, Penny, the Gemara is going to go like it. The Gemara you'll see is not going to be happy with this teretz that we just gave. Now, Tani Avois, my niu. So you're telling me that our Mishnah listed an Av. Now, which one is the Av? Yitzias. The Yitzias train Avyin, and there were two types of Yitzias, right? The Balabais could do it, and the Ani can do it. V'chi tema mehen l'chiyuv mehen liftur. So what are you going to tell me? That here in Masechta Shabbos, some were giving us the chiyuv, and some were telling us that there's a ptur for it, but that's not a good answer. Adumi demaros negoim ktani. By the negoim, all the four negoim all give you you gav tsaras. It's not a ptur there. You can't give me an answer to tell me that the two that here we're dealing with some that are chiyuv and some that are ptur. Omer of Papa, a different answer. So our Mishnah was more fleshed out. It told us those things that are chayv minat Torah, and those things that really are potter minat Torah. It's just the Chachamim made an isser for it. But over there, Hossam, the Lavik or Shabbasu, chiyuvi tani upturi loy tani. We only gave the chiyuvim. Now, what chiyuvim are you talking about? Chiyuvim ma'niyu, Yitzias. But Yitzias is not Arba, Yitzias Tartanavin. So the Gemara answers, yeah, Shtayim da Hoitzah, Ushtayim da Achnosa. So, which we accept that, because there are two ways of Hoitzah where you'd be Chayim da Raisa. Either the Balabais does it or the Ani does it. And there were two ways of Achnosa, where each one does the Melach Shlema. Freak the Gemara, how can you tell me that our Mishnah is dealing with Hotzah and Achnasa, V'hayitzios Ktani? It uses the word Yitzios. You can't tell me that our Mishnah is talking about Yitzios and Achnasas when you only use the word Yitzios. Omer Avashi, Tana Achnasa Nami Hotzah Karila. So now we have now we're coming to where we were when I introduced the Mishnah. Really, Yitzia is certainly Hotzah, but Achnasa is Hotzah as well. It falls under the category, the lav of Hotzah refers of transferring something from Rishus HaYachid to Rishus HaRabim, as well as Rishus HaRabim to Rishus HaYachid. It's either or, and they're both called Yitzias. Nimai, and where do you see this? Midisnan, from the following Mishnah. Hamotzi mirishus l'rishus chayiv. Now, if you go from one rishus to the other, you're chayiv. But you notice it doesn't say from rishus hayachid rishus harabim only. It's any rishus. So even from rishus harabim rishus hayachid, you'd be chayiv. Milo askina de koma ayel rishus harabim rishus hayachid, which is really the act of achnasa v'kakari lo hotzah, and yet the Mishnah is calling it hotzah. The time of my. What's really going behind all of this? Kol akiros chafetz mimkomo tana haitzah karila. Anytime you move an object from one place to the other, the Tanakh refers to it as hotzah.
Even though it actually doesn't necessarily mean hotzah.
Because sometimes it means machnis, But the lav of Otzah, like the lav of Choyresh, or the lav of Zoreya, or the lav of Bishul. So the definition of Otzah, we now understand what it is. It's not just Otzah, Rishus HaYachad, Rishus HaRabim, it's Rishus HaRabim, Rishus HaYachad as well. The Gemara just couldn't have said it plainer. It's exactly what the Gemara said to us now. And Omer Ravina Mastina Nami Deka. The language of our Mishnah is going to prove our point. Diktani. Yitzios. Because how did the Mishnah start? Yitzios HaShabbos Shtayin, and then it went to proceed and define to me Achnasa. One of the examples it gave to me in the Mishnah is the Ani brings something from the outside to the inside. Right? Very good, right? Rava Omar, that instead of using the word Yitzios, Shtayim Shein Arba, we should say Rishuyos Tani. It means Rishuyos Shabbos Shtayim Shein Arba. He prefers to use the word Rishuyos, right? Rava says in Rashi, Kashal Chalishna Di Yitzios Bein Hocha Bein Hasam Rishuyos Tani Rishuyos Shtayim Rishuyos Hayachid Rishuyos Harabim Shein Arba Bifnim Kloimer Vayedem Yesh Lecha Arba Yisurim Bifnim Connected B'chutz Men L'chiyuv Men L'Ptur. That's how Rava explains. Only Rav Masal Abaya. Hatam Nehavyin. So when you said that there were two that are four on the inside and two that are four on the outside, so when you add those up, you have 8. So the Gemara says, Hatam Nehavyin? Tartis Sari Havyin. There are 12. There's Arba Chiyuvi, Vitam Nepturi. What's that? Shtei Akiros Lo Ani, below Anacha. Right? The Ani can do two types of Akir, one on the inside, one on the outside, without being Meniach. Ushtei Anachos below Akir. Or you can be Meniach as well without an Akira. So that's 4. V'chela Balabayis. So that's 8. So there are 8 Liftours and 4 Lechiyuv. So Abai wants to say there's really 12. So the Gemara says, Ula Tamech, the way you're analyzing Shitzri Avyin, then you could have another 4 Lechiyuvin. Or the Gemara says, the Ikla Mechshav Nami Hanach Turi, the Mistu Gabi Chiyuvi Ho'ani Chayiv Balabayis Potter, V'chein Balabayis Chayiv Ho'ani Potter. Remember, there were each examples where one of them was Chayiv and the other was Potter because they didn't do anything. Well, you could throw that in as well. You could have 16. Omer Le Haloi Kasha. That's not a Kasha. Bishlema Baba Deresha Potter Umutter Leiktani. Remember, one of the examples where the Balabais is just standing there on the inside and they put something on his hand, that we said was Mutter Lachatchila. So things that are Potter Umutter, that we don't mention at all. So that's how we're going to back down. It's not going to be 16, it may be 12. But we might be able to back down all the way to 8. We'll see what the Gemara says. Okay. So that's a good introduction to the Masechta Shabbos.
Yeah, you don't have to go to that.
Okay.